Everybody knows that muscles don't grow during workout, but during rest. During workout, we create conditions for their growth, and then tissue regeneration, supercompensation, and hypertrophy occur. That is the muscle growth that we're talking about. And it takes time, and how much time exactly it takes is the issue, the debate on which hasn't subsided so far. It is believed that the optimal training program, which suits everyone, is the classic 3-day split. This is when we divide the body into 3 parts and 3 times a week we train different muscle groups in turn. And while we train some groups, others are recovering. In the classic split, the muscle group trains about once every 7 days, and usually this is enough. That is, by the beginning of a new workout, each muscle group has already been recovered. Is it enough or not enough? It depends on many factors, from individual recovery abilities to the entire load, physical and mental, that you get outside the gym, and in general on your psycho-emotional state, sleep quality and other things. But just about in a week, the majority muscle groups manage to recover. So everything happens as follows. We came to the gym, destroyed part of the muscles, started the process of synthesis and hypertrophy, and went to rest. Next, we provide muscle growth with all the necessary nutrients, vitamins and minerals, and we complete tissue regeneration, cell hypertrophy, muscles are filled with glycogen and creatine. In fact, what you destroyed in workout and then restored with supercompensation, it has already grown and won't go anywhere. We're talking about dry muscle fiber. Decompensation can only occur to a degree in glycogen, creatine, or mitochondria stores, which are responsible for endurance. That is, if you train some muscle group once a week and then you forget about workouts for a month and just relax, then there is a significant decompensation of nutrients in the cells. That is, there are fewer nutrients in the muscles as unnecessary. So after resting for a few weeks, you may feel that the strength indicators have fallen and the muscles volume have reduced. But after a couple of weeks of training, everything returns, and sometimes progress is also possible. In fact, such periodic rest is even useful, as it allows you to completely complete the regeneration of all tissues, restore the endocrine and immune system, which are under constant pressure due to training, and so on. Dry muscle fiber won't disappear during this time, even if you rest for several months. That is, you shouldn't worry about dry muscle mass. In fact, for dry weight, the more rest, the better. Even you exercise at least once a week. If the training is built correctly, then the increase in dry muscle mass can be achieved in this situation. But for complex progress, you need to monitor the supercompensation of glycogen and creatine in cells. Roughly speaking, you should start each new workout when your muscles are at the peak of fullness, and at the same time the dry muscle fiber is completely or almost completely restored, and this is where the discrepancy begins. For one athlete, complete supercompensation can take place when training in a classic split 3 times a week, while for another, due to low recovery abilities and physical workload outside the gym, it occurs much later. As a result, when the second person comes to the next workout, his muscles haven't been fully recovered yet, and he puts stress to the already stressed muscles and expects some kind of growth for them, while the muscles are trying to recover at least to the initial level. The solution to this problem is a reduction in training volume or the number of workouts per week. If you used to train 3 days a week, now go to 2 workouts a week. At the same time, the split may not change. That is, if you train the back on the first day, the legs on the second, and the chest on the third, do the same. But now you should train only 2 times a week. For example, on Monday the back, on Thursday the legs, and on the following Monday the chest, and so on in turn. And with a strong physical load, you can generally reduce training to a minimum. For example, twice a week. In one workout, 2 or 3 exercises on the legs, and in the second, a couple of exercises on the back and 1 on the chest. And in this case, you should do only 1 working failure set in every exercise, except for warm-up sets. But these are details. Thus, muscle recovery occurs at different rates for everyone. You just need to determine the speed. In my experience, those athletes who are stagnant and decide to reduce the number of failure sets, as well as the number of training sessions per week, begin to gain muscle and increase strength almost immediately without changing the training program. As you understand, the point here is mainly not in the training program, but in the time that you give the muscles to recover. By the way, friends, be sure to watch other videos on my channel. Links are on the screen right now. See you soon!